Right now, all across the country, families are walking into dealerships to buy the exact same thing. A big three-row SUV, room for the grandkids, room for the dog, room for everybody. It's the most popular kind of vehicle in America, and that is exactly the problem. Because a whole lot of the three-row SUVs flying off those lots are the very same ones Consumer Reports just flagged for lousy reliability in 2026. The buyers have no idea. They see 3 rows, a big screen, and a monthly payment they can stomach, and they sign. Nobody handed them the survey data. Nobody told them Consumer Reports pulls its reliability numbers from more than 380,000 real vehicles, straight from the owners living with them every day. I'm about to hand you that data. These are family cars. That means they're supposed to be the dependable ones. Nobody wants to be stranded on the shoulder of the interstate with 3 car seats in the back and a tow truck an hour away. But dependable is the one thing a bunch of these are not. And the names on this list are going to surprise you. Some of them wear the most trusted badges in the business. And the one sitting at number 1 is a brand new, just redesigned SUV from a household name, with owners already having the transmission pulled clean out of it on barely any miles. Before we start, one promise. If you own an older version of anything on this list, don't panic. The trouble is with the new, redesigned, complicated ones rolling out today, not the simpler one that's carried your family faithfully for years. Stick with me all the way to number 1, and you'll know exactly which 3-row SUVs to cross off your list, why Consumer Reports flagged each one, and what their problems could cost you out of pocket. Let's start at number 8. Number 8, the Toyota Sequoia. We start at number 8 with the one that's going to upset some of you because it wears the most trusted badge in the business, the Toyota Sequoia. Hold on before you close the video, because this one vehicle is the whole lesson of this list. The old Sequoia was a legend, a big, simple V8. The kind of truck that ran to 300,000 miles and asked for almost nothing but oil and gas. That Sequoia is a big part of how Toyota earned its bulletproof name. Then Toyota redesigned it, they pulled out that trusty V8 and dropped in a twin-turbocharged V6 bolted to a hybrid system. More power, better numbers on paper, and a whole lot more to go wrong. And it shows. Consumer Reports rates the redesigned Sequoia below average for reliability, a stunning fall for a Toyota. Owners have run into trouble with that complicated new powertrain. The very thing they were promised made it better. Put the two side by side. The old V8 Sequoia is the one people trust to tow a boat for 20 years. The new turbo hybrid one is the one landing on reliability watch lists in its first couple of years on the road. And when one of those turbo or hybrid components lets go outside the warranty, you can be looking at $2,000 to $5,000 on a Toyota of all things. The lesson is loud and clear. Even the best brand on earth can't cheat physics. Pile on the complexity and reliability walks out the door, no matter whose name is on the tailgate. And if a Toyota can slip when they overcomplicate it, the next one, a full-size hauler from an American icon, had even less room to give. Number 7, the Ford Expedition. Number 7 is the Ford Expedition, and I want to be fair to Ford here, because fair is what this channel is about. Ford as a brand actually climbed in the rankings this year. Its reliability improved to the best showing in 15 years. Credit where credit is due. But the newly redesigned Expedition is the exception, and Consumer Reports rates it below average for a big SUV. That's the pattern biting again. Ford tore the Expedition down and rebuilt it new for 2025, and a ground-up redesign almost always means a rough couple of years while they sort the bugs out on your dime. This is a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 family truck. People buy it to haul the whole clan in comfort and safety, and to keep it a long, long time. A below-average reliability score on something you're financing for 6 or 7 years is the last thing you need. And the repairs on a rig this big and this new are not gentle. A transmission or electronics fault out of warranty can run you $1,800 to $4,000. And that's before you count the days it sits at the dealer while you're renting something just to get around. The fix is the oldest advice in the book, and it works every time. Never buy the first or second year of a fresh redesign. Let Ford find the problems on somebody else's warranty and buy the version that's already had the kinks worked out. Number 6, the Chevrolet Suburban. Number 6 is the Chevrolet Suburban, and this one stings because the Suburban is practically an institution. Grandparents, road trips, the family truckster. It's been in American driveways for the better part of a century. But here's the mechanism behind why the newer ones are slipping, and it comes straight from the top of the charts. General Motors is the single most frequent offender on Consumer Reports' worst list this year, and the reason is what they've been stuffing into these big SUVs. The newest Suburbans lean on a complicated 10-speed automatic transmission and a thick web of electronics running everything from the climate to the touchscreen. That's a lot of new, intricate hardware. And intricate hardware is precisely what breaks and precisely what costs a fortune to fix. When one of those transmissions or electronic modules acts up out of warranty, you're staring at $2,500 to $5,500. Compare that to the Suburbans of old, built on simple, proven mechanicals that just kept going. Same legendary name, a very different machine underneath. And I want to hear from you on this one because a lot of you live in these big Chevys and GMCs. Is there a Suburban or a Tahoe in your driveway right now? Drop the year in the comments and tell me straight. How many miles is it on and has it held up, or has it been nickel and diming you at the shop? Because we're only at number 6, and the worst offenders on this list, the ones scoring at the very bottom, are still ahead of us. Number 5. The Chevrolet Traverse. Number 5 is the Chevrolet Traverse, and this one comes with a warning sign you can spot from the outside, if you know where to look. For years, Consumer Reports handed the Traverse its recommended badge. That's the seal of approval, the green light that tells a buyer this one cleared the bar. For 2026, they took it away. Let that sink in. Consumer Reports stripped the Traverse of its recommended rating because its reliability fell below the line they draw. When the one organization whose entire job is grading these cars pulls its stamp of approval off a popular family SUV, that is a flare going up over the whole model. The trouble started with the redesign. Chevy rebuilt the Traverse for 2024, gave it a boxier, more truck-like look they leaned on hard in the ads, and swapped in a turbocharged engine. The current generation has been sliding below average for reliability ever since. The biggest complaint is the electronics. Owners describe the infotainment system freezing, glitching, and rebooting like a cheap tablet that's given up on life. And infotainment gremlins are famous for coming back no matter how many times the dealer swears they can't reproduce the issue. The turbocharged powertrain has drawn its own set of complaints on top of that. None of it is cheap to chase down. An electronics or powertrain repair out of warranty runs $1,200 to $3,500. And here's the part that really costs you. A family SUV with a reputation for problems doesn't only eat repair money, it bleeds resale value too. You lose on the way in, and you lose again on the way out. When Consumer Reports quietly yanks a recommended rating off a bestseller, they're telling you as plainly as they're allowed to. Be careful with this one. Number 4 trades the American badge for a German one and proves that German engineering doesn't always mean what you've been trained to think it means. Number 4, the Volkswagen Atlas. Number 4 is the Volkswagen Atlas, and I've got a question for you before you ever let a salesman lean on that magic word, German. The Atlas and its cross-sport sibling are big, handsome 3-row family SUVs that look like an awful lot of car for the money sitting on the lot, and Consumer Reports puts them squarely among the least reliable midsize SUVs on sale for 2026. So here's my challenge to you, and I mean it. The next time somebody tells you German engineering means built like a tank, ask them one simple thing. Who's paying the repair bill when all that engineering decides to quit? Because the weak spot on the Atlas isn't the body or the bones, it's the electronics. Owners report the in-car electronics failing, the climate system acting up, and that fancy digital dashboard they call the digital cockpit freezing up and throwing error messages. And a dashboard that freezes is a whole lot more than an annoyance. When the screen showing your speed and your warning lights goes dark, you've crossed the line into a safety problem. Compare it to a Honda Pilot or a Toyota Highlander of the same age. Those just work. You get in, turn the key, the screen comes on, the climate blows, and nothing surprises you. Boring. And boring is exactly what you want in the thing hauling your family down the highway. When those Volkswagen electronic systems fail out of warranty, you can be out $1,500 to $4,500, and German parts and German labor never come cheap. Ask yourself honestly whether that's a gamble worth taking on your everyday family SUV. And listen, if this countdown is already helping you dodge an expensive mistake, do me a quick favor and tap that subscribe button. I put out a fresh one of these every single day, cutting through the salesman talk and the glossy brochures for folks who just want a straight answer and a car that starts every morning. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Number 3 is where this list stops being a wallet problem and turns into something that ought to genuinely worry you. Number 3, the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Number 3 is the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, the stretched 3-row version of Jeep's most important vehicle, and it earns its place here for a reason that goes well past your wallet. Here's the mechanism, and it's a serious one. Consumer Reports flagged the Grand Cherokee for drive system problems. That lines up with a recall Jeep had to issue on certain plug-in hybrid versions, a defect where the SUV could suddenly lose power and stop driving while you were going down the road. Sit with that one for a second. Not a squeak, not a rattle. A family SUV that can drop its drive and coast to a dead stop in moving traffic. That is the kind of failure that turns an ordinary Tuesday commute into a genuinely dangerous moment, with your family sitting in the back seat. And it doesn't stop at the drive system. Owners also report steering and suspension troubles, strange noises, and fluid leaks. The everyday kind of gremlins that keep a car parked at the service department instead of sitting in your driveway where you actually need it. This is the same story we keep running into, by the way. Jeep belongs to the same giant parent company chasing complexity across every one of its brands, and the Grand Cherokee is where a lot of that complexity landed. Turbocharged engines, plug-in hybrid systems, and a thick stack of electronics all layered onto what used to be a simple, rugged truck. And the bills match that complexity. A drive system or suspension repair out of warranty can run you $2,200 to $6,000, depending on what let go and who does the work. The Grand Cherokee name used to stand for simple, tough, go anywhere. This stretched, electrified, gadget-stuffed version is a very different animal. And Consumer Reports data says it's one to approach with real caution, especially with precious cargo on board. But as unsettling as a car that loses power sounds, the last two on this list scored even lower for reliability. And the very worst is a brand new SUV that owners are already watching get its transmission pulled out under low miles. Number 2, the Mazda CX-90. Number 2 is the Mazda CX-90, and Consumer Reports readers gave it a nickname that says it all. They called it a textbook example of how not to launch a complicated new model. Mazda wanted to move up market, so they built the CX-90 as a fancy three-row with a big turbocharged six-cylinder, a plug-in hybrid option, and a rear-drive base platform meant to feel like a luxury SUV. Beautiful cabin, ambitious engineering, and a reliability record that came apart almost immediately. Consumer Reports lists it among the least reliable midsize SUVs on sale, and the roll call of trouble spots is almost comical. Steering and suspension, the climate system, the transmission, the in-car electronics, the electrical accessories, even the hybrid battery on the plug-in version. One writer joked that about the only things owners weren't complaining about were the tires and the seats. Some owners have had the thing drop into limp mode from a software bug. The SUV crawling home at reduced power because the computers got themselves confused. Others describe a transmission that shifts rough and jerky around town, and the launch model stacked up multiple recalls across its different powertrains in no time at all. Now hold that up against a plain Honda Pilot or a Toyota Highlander. Same three rows, same family job, same price ballpark. Those two just quietly do their work year after year, while the CX-90 is filing paperwork with the service department. When a complicated system like that fails outside the warranty, the hybrid, the transmission, the electronics, you're looking at $3,000 to $7,000 on a family SUV that's only a couple of years old. Gorgeous to look at, a gamble to live with. That's the CX-90, which leaves the single worst three-row SUV on Consumer Reports' 2026 list. And it's a brand new one from a name millions of Americans trust without a second thought. Number 1, the GMC Acadia. Number 1. The worst three-row SUV on Consumer Reports list for 2026 is the GMC Acadia. I told you at the very start it was a brand new, just redesigned SUV from a household name. And here it is. GMC redesigned the Acadia for 2025, made it bigger, gave it a fresh turbocharged engine and a new transmission, and drove it straight to the bottom of the reliability rankings. Consumer Reports named the redesigned Acadia the least reliable three-row midsize SUV they measured, not below average, the worst. And here's the mechanism, the part that ought to stop you cold. Owners are reporting major transmission failures, and not the kind where you top off a little fluid and carry on. We're talking leaks and faults serious enough that the whole gearbox has to come out of the vehicle to be fixed. On brand new SUVs, with barely any miles on the odometer. Think about what that actually means. You buy a $50,000 family SUV, you drive it a year, and it's already back up on a lift with the transmission being pulled out of it. Add in the brake problems and the electrical accessory failures owners are also reporting, and you've got a vehicle that spends more time meeting its mechanic than serving your family. When one of those transmissions has to be rebuilt or replaced out of warranty, you are looking at $4,000 to $9,000. Enough to make you wonder why on earth you didn't just keep the old one. That is the whole point of this list. In a single vehicle, it's brand new. It's loaded with the latest technology. It wears a trusted American badge. And it is, according to the very people who measure this for a living, the least dependable three-row SUV you can buy right now. So there they are. The three-row SUVs Consumer Reports is steering families away from in 2026. And step back, because the pattern in this list is the real lesson. Look at what nearly every one of them has in common. They were redesigned in the last year or two. They had turbochargers, hybrid systems, or a wall of new electronics piled on in the name of progress. The Sequoia lost its V8, the Traverse lost its recommended rating, the Acadia lost its transmission. Every single time the manufacturer took a family SUV, made it more complicated, and made it worse. Here's what that means for you. If you're shopping for a 3-row to haul the grandkids, you do not have to gamble. The names that stayed off this list, the Honda Pilot, the Toyota Highlander, the Hyundai Palisade, are still building dependable, boring, do-their-job family SUVs. And if you already own an older, simpler one that's treated you well, the smartest thing you can do is keep it, maintain it, and let everybody else be the crash test dummy for the shiny new redesign. There's a money side to this too. An SUV with a reputation for problems doesn't just cost you at the repair shop. It loses value faster when you go to sell it, so you get punished twice. The dependable ones hold their worth precisely because everybody wants them. And if you've got your heart set on one of the newer 3-rows anyway, here's how to protect yourself. Wait until a design has been on the road 2 or 3 years, look up its latest reliability score for yourself before you ever walk into the showroom, and never be the one buying the very first year off the line. Don't let a salesman rush you past that with a fat discount on a brand new redesign either. A few thousand off the sticker means nothing if the transmission comes out at 40,000 miles. That one simple habit would have kept buyers clear of nearly every SUV on this list. Because a family SUV isn't a toy. It's carrying the people you love most, and it's carrying a big chunk of your money. The last thing you need on a fixed income is a $50,000 payment on something that lives at the dealership. Keep it simple, and it will keep you moving. And if you want the other half of this story, the 3-row SUVs Consumer Reports says you actually can trust in 2026, the ones genuinely worth your hard-earned money. I've got that video ready for you right up on the screen. Go watch that one next, and I'll see you there.